either flowers or textures, or like even in the winter with the dog redwoods, the red twig dogwoods, they add an interest in the winter. Then you can have evergreens that add interest in the winter. So there's ways to get those principles of interest all year round. You just gotta be a little creative.
Yeah, like, and you can just Google it, you know, winter interest in landscape plants. There's like the Harry Lauder's walking stick. That was where you can never, I mean, once it's leafed out, you're looking at this big old green blob, right? And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. But in the wintertime, you're like, whoa, what is this thing that's just like all twisted and turny and curvy and somewhat pendulous? And yeah, it's a brilliant choice. But I mean, it's also something that you can talk about. So people see it. Hey, what is that? It's this totally freaking awesome plant, and not very many people have it. You know, it's kind of a fun little thing.
So I think that's kind of where gardening can get real fun, is you're finding things that no one knows what the heck they are.
Or you don't see them very often, and it's just like this. There's this interest,
like the monkey puzzle tree.
Oh,
it's like, what? That like just blows my freaking mind. And I know people have grow it in Utah, or have. I don't know if they've been very successful, but Barney had one.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if it was like in his yard or if it was like in the greenhouse. He brought it out and in or whatever, but he had one. So that's cool.
There's one at the aviary up in Salt Lake City.
Is there really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
It's kind of a hidden gem. You'd have to ask the director of horticulture there to actually get a chance to see it. Matthew Utley, a.k.a. awesome dude.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that. That's would be your focal point, or like yeah.
So I just wanted to just insert right quick as far as flowering varieties that as I was just driving along, and it just blew my mind. Like, whoever had this idea, it was brilliant.
So like pairings?
Yes, pairings. And I just saw this in a Smith's parking lot, and I'm just like, man,
nailed it.
Landscape designers they're getting it, they're understanding, and it just popped. It looks so beautiful from the road, from kind of quite a distance. It was penstemon, that red penstemon, and the blue salvia paired. They flower at the same time. They're bold, just rich gem colors. And
so one's a cool color, one's a warm color.
Yeah, and it was right around the base of some tree. The tree wasn't even the important part. It was just like that. Those colors popped, and I'm just like, brilliant.
One that I recognized from also driving around, and it caught my eye. I can't remember exactly where it was. I'm pretty sure it was a park strip somewhere, and it was the yellow potentilla shrub. So it's in bloom, yellow, and then in front of it was the purple salvia.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, that looks so good. I was like, it's the peak of the salvia, it's the peak of the potentilla. Nailed it. The problem is there's going to be nothing there later. But right now, looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's kind of early summer. So here's a different, most people expect flowers in the spring. Here you already have a next level early summer.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it is a good combination.
So then you just got to figure out, okay, what is going to flower? What color is it? And then find something else that matches it. And you can have those 1-2 warm, cold color combos. And they just look so awesome.
Yeah, and even if they're around for, 4 to 5 weeks, at least you've got that just eye-catching design. 4
to 5 weeks kicks anything in the spring's butt. Okay, 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Last week, the snowball viburnums were killing it. And this week, they're gone.
Yep.
Okay? And then, even before that, so the very, very early ones, forsythias, killing it when they first thing out the gate.
Yep. 2 weeks later,
boom, gone. They're all gone. They're
Yeah.
all done. Lilacs, same thing. Kind of just so quick.
yeah. Wisteria, same thing. 2 weeks.
That's
boom,
another
gone,
reason why
gone.
I kind of like desert plants, because they bloom longer and then they bloom at a different time. So most of them are summer and they just bloom longer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I try to put out online on the Facebook group of the pairings that I like. So I've been putting out a lot of stuff out for park strips and different kind of pairings that can be used in a water-wise application. So that's what I try to focus on. But I think the last one I saw had sunriser daisies and something else. But those are cool too. But obviously, being dry and desert, they're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one downside to desert plants, is they're smaller because they're conserving the energy that they get. They just don't grow. Like we were saying, give it a lot of water, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
So
in order to overcome that smallness, would you say just plant more if you wanted to really like just a power punch?
yeah, I would do definitely in groupings.
Mm-hmm.
At least threes. I always go odds because the odds just are better pleasing to the eye. I don't know what it is, but like threes, fives, sevens, and then you can alternate. Say you could do 3 bundles of threes or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then inside, I always I just do alternating. I don't know. It's hard to describe over the podcast, but
Yeah.
definitely do groupings. Find a rhythm. I guess that's what it is. Rhythm of texture. So it's like, okay, you have and colors. So those are the kind of repeating patterns, and you could do like a 3 different tones in one pattern, repeated 3 times. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'm trying to picture this along like a flower bed or like a park strip.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely. That's where it's really easy to do that.
Cool.
Most of my planting is along the house, so it's foundation plantings and stuff like that. But I don't really have anything very large. The biggest thing I have are my Sistinas, which is a nice. Those, how long did that last? Did that even last a week? It's flowers.
Oh, yeah, not even that.
It was nothing. So I mean,
It's the color of the leaf that really is fantastic with that.
It is.
shrub.
The flowers are a bonus for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those are looking pretty good. I thought I was going to lose them. Honestly, they weren't doing very good, but I've been kind of babying them, and I dug the big important thing. Like if you didn't plant it, go back in and dig around the base, expose the what am I trying to say? The
Root flare, yeah.
Root flare, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know what it is because I can see it in my mind, so you just expose that root flare, and then it's not going to get it. At least it limits the diseases that can infect that, and it might have never had any issue.
Nice, yeah. And that's good too, to expose a root flare and then create a berm, like you'd see with like vegetables. You create just like this little tiny circular berm around the plant, so that if there is rain, it'll collect there, or if you are dripping or watering, the water will collect at the base of those plants and shrubs. And it looks clean. It looks good. It looks like somebody is home taking care of the plants.
Yeah, one last on that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. On the same thread, when I was at the U, so they had this huge, we were taking care of the history museum.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they had planted all these in between the parking lot. So you had parking lot, and in between the parking lot were these very steep rock plantings, and there were we had trees in them. They were big tooth maples, and they were all planted too deep. Every single one of them. They just weren't doing very good, and we're just like, what the freak is going on? We had to dig out all of them I mean, at least 6 to 10 inches just to find the root flare. And then we made the berms and we did all this stuff. But it took weeks for me and my friend to dig out all those stinking big tooth maples. But I went back there just recently and they all were like exploding. They were all way bigger than they used to be. So cool. We were able to overcome it. We may have lost a few in there, but
we saved them.
You saved them. Yes.
Nice.
So that's a big, huge thing. Overwatering and planting too deep. Mm-hmm. So watch it.
Yeah, peeps. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Root flare. It's hard to... How do you say that? So when you can actually see that the roots are going horizontal.
Yeah.
That's where you want
to
find it.
That's where you plant that to the height of the soil.
And it might even be lower than in what was in the pot.
Totally. Happens all the time.
So you got to find that root flare. Mm-hmm. All right. With that, we shall leave you.
Yep.
We'll see you later, Brad.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, there we go. That was Check Your Root Flare. I want to thank Brad for coming out. I want to thank you, listeners. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you like the podcast, tell someone, let them know. If you like the podcast, please share it. It's a great way to help us out. Freaking Lawn Thumbs, baby. Freddie's on with Lawn Thumbs. Go check out his videos. It's funny. He's entertaining. You get to see a lot of what it goes through to have your own lawn care business. It comes out. His episodes are usually there for Sunday. Sometimes they come out a little early, but weekend YouTube releases. So go check him out. That's all, folks. So thank you, and don't forget to plant on, Babylon.